Good evening, all, and welcome to Calbarter's Corner for this week's What You Playing Wednesday. I'm Lord Calbarter Guyler, Companion of the Meridian Cross, Companion of the Argent Comet, Companion of the Argent Lamp, Companion of the Falcon's Faith, and Reaper, coming to you live, as always, from the Barony of the Osprey on the southern coast of Meridies. Now, tonight, I am joined by an old friend of mine. I'm not calling him old specifically. He's just an old friend of mine. The proprietor of the Cock and Feather Gaming Tavern, Master Geoffrey McDonald, and I've butchered your name, Your Excellency, and I apologize. It's okay. You butchered mine enough, I guess. We'll call it square.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Would you like to
Yes.
introduce yourself, since I butchered that enough?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yes, as he said, I'm Geoffrey McDonald. I'm a knight, pelican, and laurel of Meridies. One of my things I really, really love in this society, I've been doing this for 35 plus years, but one of the things I've grown to love is gaming. And to the point where I actually run a gaming tavern, which is known as the Cock and Feather. You'll see it on a variety of events, usually on Friday night, sometimes other nights, but usually it's a Friday night. But it's just a place where I love to create that atmosphere, that ambiance, that place where you get that moment to step back in time. And one of the greatest ways to do that, in my opinion, are games, because games provide the chance for us to sit down and talk with our friends and or new friends we just made, because you can't play a game and not actually meet someone. So it's a great chance and place to meet new people. So any chance to expound upon the idea of gaming is always a good thing in my heart. And the particular game we're using tonight is chess. And chess is known as the knightly game. So there are many aspects of chess that are involved with knighthood. And it's something that is very near and dear to my heart. So, excuse me. So let's play some chess.
There you go. So that was a great segue. So tonight's game is chess. This is one that I have been sort of waiting on to do at the right time. Originally, we were supposed to have Duke Sean from Armesia and playing against Sir Geoffrey tonight. It was going to be a night-on-night battle so that I could sit from the sidelines and heckle. Unfortunately, Sean had to bow out due to a scheduling conflict, so now I have to play. Yay. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm terrible at chess. I know how to play. I've played forever. I'm just trash at it. So you mentioned that chess is the knightly game, and I want to talk about that a little bit before we actually get into playing. And actually, let me back up. Ordinarily in the stream here, I would pitch it to Pascal, and Pascal would give us the how to play chess. I think there are enough chess tutorials out there, and this game has been played long enough and is popular enough that I don't need to recreate that wheel. So I didn't. So I posted a couple links to a couple videos earlier about the history of chess and sort of the beginner's guide to playing chess. The reason I don't play this game more is because the barrier to entry to chess, I think, is a lot higher than it is to games like Nine Men's Morris and Gluck House and Liar's Dice, right? Anybody can start playing those games very quickly, whereas chess is a lot harder to learn and be good at, which is why I think it's been used as the knightly game, because it is a game you have to have some sort of practice and some sort of level of prowess out to be good at. So what's your opinion, Geoffrey? Why did chess become the knightly game, and why did we adopt it in the society for that?
Well, I think the reason for that particular thing is the fact that chess is a game of war. Now, most games are technically games of war, especially the earlier games, a lot of the Tafel games and things like that. Were Viking wars. This is more of a European thing. There are many variants of this game based upon cultures and things like that. But it is a game of war. But it very much also has a variety of troops that do different things. Most games have a piece that moves X distance, and if it contacts, it kills, or if it whatever like that. This particular game has a variety of troops that have to be utilized in specific manners, and it teaches how to utilize your troops to protect your other troops, and it also teaches you sometimes you have to sacrifice. You actually have to win the day, to win the war, which is the overall challenge. Sometimes you have to put pieces in harm's way to create that moment. And That's not an easy thing to do. I mean, I was general in the Marine Army for about 4 years.
Right.
It's not easy to say, I want these 10 guys to charge into that area right there and be the distraction while these 30 guys get to maneuver unhindered. But sometimes you have to do that. So this is a game that teaches you when and how to do that and when not to do that. So, I mean, it's very much a teaching tool about war, and, well, war is nightly.
I like that. Okay, see, there you go. I figured there was going to be some kernel of wisdom you would have about that, and there you go. You proved me right. So thank you for that. All right, so yeah, so I think let's jump right into it. We'll watch Cal get beat here. So for those of you watching, if you have questions about what we do, so fortunately when we're playing in Board Game Arena, as opposed to Roll20 like we usually do, so it is going to enforce the rules, so I don't have to worry about keeping track of, I can't cheat. At least if I do it, I have to do it way better. So we won't be able to break any rules. We'll be able to follow along with that. But if you have a question about something we did, or a strategy or a reason we do something, feel free to ask that. And if one of us has a reason, we will talk about that. Geoffrey did ask me when we started how good he wanted me, that I wanted him to play. And I told him to bring his entire game and beat me soundly. But also he asked...
We'll see how that goes.
He asked if there was something that you want to talk about. So he may talk about some strategies he has, and I'll make up some stuff about mine. So there we go. All right, so white moves first, and it was randomly selected, so I will go first. Let's see here. I will move my pawn there, because that looks like a good move. I like it.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that move. I'm going to do a standard opening that is part of the chess world. I'm going to take my king's pawn forward 2 spaces. What that does is, as he said, I'm going to throw a little strategy out there. This isn't even my strategy. This is just a strategy. What this does is that opens my queen all the way to there. It opens my bishop all the way there. Oh, look, there's a target there. So, hey, look, I got a potential victim. But it actually, what it does, it opens up a bishop run and a queen run, most of the way across, creating a nice open V on the opening of the field. So,
there you go. I slid my bishop up into the hole there.
He threatens my...
Right, I'm threatening. I'm so threatening.
Well, that's all I'm doing. I'm just threatening. I'm not actually going to be mean and take your pawn.
Right. Who would do that?
Am I? But instead, what I shall do is actually open up my pawn to here. So he's now guarding my pawn.
Oh, yeah, that is true. All right. I have to always remember to switch back to my right screen here. I get busy looking at the comments and looking at the StreamYard screen. I'm like, I can't move the pieces over there. Oh, yeah, that's right. It doesn't work that way. All right, let's get some things moving here. Not that. Bring the knights out.
All right.
Oh, man. So I've mentioned this before, and I'll say it again. So, and I think I've told you this, Geoffrey. So you're actually one of the reasons that I do gaming. And so, like, obviously, I played board games for years. And when I took some time off from the SCA, and I came back, and I was like, all right, what am I going to do? What's my thing? Because everybody needs a thing when they're in the SCA. They need a focus. They need some sort of thing. And I was like, you know what? Gaming. I like gaming. And I saw, I'd seen Geoffrey playing games for years and seen the what he was doing with the Cock and Feather Gaming Tavern. Because even in my break time, I was still sort of paying attention. And the things you said earlier about gaming was correct. The gaming adds such an ambiance to an event. And it's that thing that, we have the fighting, which is cool, and we have the feasts, which are cool, but it's that little bit of extra in the background. It's the guy playing the lute in the corner, the people playing chess over the side. Those little pieces add so much to an event that I love that. And I think if more of us are playing games, then there's more games to be played, and more people can do that, and sort of it spreads. So that's actually one of the reasons I started this channel initially, was I'm going to teach games every week, because if we teach games, then more people are playing games. And I think that's, like I said, that's largely the reason I did this. So you are to blame for me talking on YouTube, Geoffrey.
I get blamed for everything, so
that's right. Oh, let's see here. We're
I
gonna
brought
do.
my knight forward to give me a better control of the forward field.
Yep.
Knights are hard to block because you can't stand in their way. They just run around you.
That's
And
true.
they land in odd places. So I love my knights.
All right, so I always have to remember which ones, because I don't like these. Like I always forget which one the queen and king is. I know that's silly, but I was like, okay, which one's queen? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, we're good.
The queen starts off on her own color.
Right. I always have to check that because like the hats don't make any sense to me because I'm always thinking of like I was trying to think of which hat would wear which. I'm like, okay, the king is wearing the cross, the queen isn't. Got it. Okay.
Exactly.
So, see, I told you I'm terrible at this game. Let's see. We're gonna go.
You simply haven't practiced enough.
Right. Oh, it's true. But and I think, like I said, the larger reason is I focus on other games. I'm always playing something else because they're more approachable. Like when I break out Nyman's Morris, anybody will play. When I break out Gluckhouse, anybody will play. But you break out a chessboard and it's intimidating. So it's a lot. Like I said, the barrier to entry is there. It's not hard. The game itself is not hard to play. But it's a lot harder to teach it quickly, especially if you've been drinking.
Yes. I just took your pawn with my knight, by the way.
You did do that. That's rude.
I did that. I'm that mean guy.
Right.
One of the things that we're doing at Knight's Gambit is we've done it a couple of years, and it's something I'm really enjoying. I think we're going to continue to utilize and do that in the future. Is actually we're doing Friday night. We're running the Tavern, and when we're running the Tavern, it's actually all chess, and we actually man the chessboards with knights. So you get a chance to sit down and play knight and talk to him, and just have a little one-on-one time, and get a feel for the guy, get a chance to know him. So just something out there. That's
smart. That's actually something when I was talking to Duke Sean about doing this initially. That's something he does with his squires. And the people that want to be his squires, he says, okay, I want you to go find X number of knights and play them in chess, or play a game. It doesn't have to be chess, but go play a game with them and talk to them. Because it's not the game at that point is in the background. It's the thing you're doing while you talk, which is largely what my games have turned into. With this is the game is more the set dressing, whereas
exactly
the fun part. Let's see here.
I like using my knights as chaos.
Right. The knights are the hardest ones to sort of keep track of where they can be because it's not linear. I was watching. So Sir Geoffrey does a class. He actually taught a class back when I did my first game symposium back last April. He taught some of the history stuff about some of where chess came from and the original like Indian version of chess, and was showed like the different pieces of why the knight moves the way it does. It's actually an elephant, and he's not actually moving that way. He's more of he's moving and then attacking those ways. It was the idea was because of the way the tusks were set up. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's kind of a cool idea. He was on like the reasons the pieces move. It was really neat hearing some of that. And some of that's actually in that video that I shared. It's some of the original piece movements.
Okay, well, I would like to point out that you just put me in check.
Okay, I did. I'm sorry. I didn't even. You're right.
That's fine.
Ah, yes.
What are you doing? So now.
Look at me.
There's a few things I have to do here.
Right.
Well, the thing I have to do is fix that problem. Okay. So now there's a few ways I can do it. One is by killing the piece that is putting me in check. If I kill it, that takes care of the problem. Okay. Another thing I can do is move out of its way. So I can take I don't know if you can see my cursor. But,
they cannot. Yeah.
Okay. I can take my king and move it forward one space, and he's no longer in check.
Right.
So that makes him safe. I don't have anything that can kill your queen.
Right.
So I can do that. So I can move my king out of the way, or I can select a piece and move it to where it interposes. And therefore, if you try coming at the king, you kill it instead.
Right.
I just did. I took my bishop, moved my bishop forward, so now my bishop is blocking, so you cannot attack my king. So that takes care of my. What just happened? Oh, you took my. Gotcha.
Right.
Okay, so you took my knight, which freed up your queen, because I was about to point out the fact that puts your queen in check.
Correct.
So,
It's threatening the queen. I cannot have that.
I mean, puts it in threat, not as in check. But another way I could have done that would have been simply to have moved my knight down to the position forward of where a bishop is, and
right.
gotten my knight out of the way. But I wanted to utilize something that was close to the king as a block to show you that. So. Let's see. What shall we do next? I'm going to stagger that line, because if that queen runs straight down that line where the pawn was before, the one I just moved, would be between. She would be between pawns, which couldn't attack her, and my rook couldn't attack her. It would have been a bad place to be.
Bad spot. So we have a question come up.
Okay.
So why don't you move your pawn instead? So you had a pawn that could have moved in place of the one square off where the bishop is. So it would be your bishop pawn could have moved forward.
Correct.
Why didn't you do that?
I could have moved it forward too, which would have threatened the queen and made the queen have to move or respond. Now that pawn was protected, but the knight pawn, which did move, would not have been protected. So the queen could have rushed in and killed it,
right.
Which would put it on line with my bishop, a pawn, or a rook down in the corner. So the queen would have been in my backfield, and I don't want her there. So basically, I move forward my pawn so that if she comes down to me, she's got to stop a little early, which puts her in a threat position.
Right.
Two pawns guarding that one pawn. So if I move my pawn forward on my my bishop pawn, she would have moved away or moved deep into my line. I didn't want either of those, so I just put a block for her.
All right, I moved my rook pawn.
I see it.
So I actually have a chessboard I'm working on. So I recently made an ingrained cutting board. So I made a cutting board out of pieces, and I was like, oh man, now I got to make a chessboard like this. So that's my next woodworking project is I'm making my own chessboard now. It's I'm scared because measured wood cutting is my bane. Like I can do it. Like the cutting board was I got it. I knew how to do it, but like it did not come out in measurements like I meant for it to. I just sort of winged it based on what I had. Whereas doing that with to make a chessboard, so it's because it's even squares, it's a much more meticulous process.
I have never. I do a lot of woodworking. For those who don't know, I actually do a lot of woodworking. I have never done a chessboard, so kudos to you. Let me know what you learn.
I will do that. Oh, let's see here. You are threatening that queen. You cannot have
my pawn up and threaten your queen.
Yeah.
But now your queen really doesn't have anywhere forward to go.
Right.
Not with any effect. So by delaying moving the threatening pawn, what I'm doing is actually pushing her back.
Right. So Runa says, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm living for Geoffrey in this hat. It's the hat, man. It's the hat every time.
It's all about the hat. Something that Cal and I were talking about earlier. I love wearing I have a big red chapeau d'affaires that I wear that is it's actually referred to many times as the Geoffrey hat.
Mm-hmm.
I love the hat because it gets invited to so many parties and it lets me come with it. So I love that hat.
It's just a good hat, man. It really is.
It is.
Oh, let's see here. All right, I got no way to threaten that knight, and that knight's threatening my queen. I'm not a fan, so we're going to do that.
That's a great way to get that knight.
Yeah, I am right now having to play super defensive, and I'm not happy about that. You have control of the mid board. I am stuck in my little corner over here.
Mm-hmm.
I recently watched Queen's Gambit, which if nobody watched Queen's Gambit on Netflix, go watch Queen's Gambit. It's a really good series. I rather enjoyed it, but I know a little bit more about like chess function than I did before, because like I knew all the things that existed. I sort of knew that there were openings and closings, and I knew about the midfield. Like I knew those things. I am way more familiar with them now because of that series, and apparently they did a really good job studying a lot of that, so it's fairly accurate. So yeah, recommend it. All right, let's see.
Now, one of the things when you're moving pieces, this isn't for you, Cal, this is just a general thing. It goes back to what I was talking about earlier about risking pieces, sacrificing pieces, guarding pieces. You know, the same thing as a knight, that as you're working your troops depend on you. They know and you know that all of them aren't going to get out of the battle. Somebody's going to die. It's just kind of going to fall to that. But it is your job as the general of an army, and this is what this represents as an army. It is your job as the general of an army to make sure that you utilize your pieces to the best of your ability. You guard them as well as you can. You don't waste them. It's about not sacrificing unnecessarily. However, sacrificing when you must.
Right.
So, okay. So, you moved your pawn forward.
Correct. Yep. Bishop pawn forward.
Okay.
I have a plan. I'm doing a thing.
Good. A plan is always a good thing.
Right. I'm planning at least 2 steps. That's it. That's all I got.
That's great.
Let's see. Petrona advises that the U.S. Chess Museum lies within the barony of Three Rivers, which is apparently in St. Louis, Missouri. So there you go. Little tidbit from Sammy. Ooh. There he goes. All right.
There we go. Rook pawn forward.
Let's see. That's going to do that. Move that there. Yes. So Runa says, one of the happiest nights of her life, Joffrey, listen to this, was spent watching you and His Majesty as a 14-year-old boy playing Jenga. So apparently, this was the night before Tim's first reign or first crown tournament that he won.
Yeah.
So there you go. So apparently, playing games with Joffrey get you towards winning crown tournaments.
Wait a minute, why didn't I ever win then?
You can't play games with yourself. Yeah, you have to play games with you. Yeah, that's the problem.
You must play games against Joffrey.
Right, there you go. And you haven't won yet because you're a second place man. How many crown lists have you came in second in?
3, maybe 4, but 3. I get 3. Hang on. Kenneth, Ulrich, Adamar. Yeah, 3 have come in second. Several have come in fourth.
No.
One I came in 22 out of 18.
Well,
really bad day. Yeah.
When the armor falls apart, man, you just have to go with it, right?
Yep.
I got to say, I've talked to a lot of folks. I've heard people talk about fighting. And everybody that's ever talked about your fighting specifically, and this is sort of off topic from chess, this is we're talking about nightly things. You're always mentioned as the cleanest fight, and always mentioned as one of the people want to see win crown.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
That is the thing I hear most about you outside of the gaming, of course.
One of the things I do strive for is to have the reputation of, if Geoffrey didn't call it, it wasn't good. There's no question. And that's something I really, really strive for. I really push to have that kind of a reputation.
That's a good thing to strive for. I like that. Oh, let's see here. What can I do? What can I do? It's going to put the queen. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll do that.
So you want to trade queen for queen?
Yeah. See if you'll do it. Let's see what happens. What I just did was I put my queen threatening Joffrey's queen. But if he takes my queen, then his queen will then be in threat. So it's an interesting predicament.
In either case, queens die.
Right.
Because if you come down, well, my king or my rook can kill your queen. So it is what is referred to as a trade. And it's an even trade. So if he fears my queen more than I fear his, it's a good trade for him. So,
but you also have the option of moving your queen out and not taking it too. So
that is correct, or blocking.
Right. Or blocking the path or whatever.
Never forget that you can interpose a troop.
So Katya says what? Okay, so I'll re-explain that. So Katya, if you look at the white queen currently, you'll see that if it were to move diagonally up into the left, it would be able to take out Joffrey's queen, the black queen on the back row. Same thing with his. It is now his move, so he gets to technically could take my queen along that same path. However, my knight sitting here, I think my cursor should be visible. My knight sitting here threatens that square. So if he were to take my queen, I could then take his queen with my knight, which was my goal, was to put him in that predicament to make that where he has to make a decision now.
And here is my response.
There you go. All right. Threaten it with the bishop. All right. Well, we're just going to do, let's see, knight covers that in XQ. I don't know all those fancy words.
Neither do I. I'm just an knight.
Right. Oh, knight takes queen. Correct. Yeah, he also could have done knight takes queen too. I wasn't mentioning that.
Oh yeah, I did. I missed that.
Shh, nobody tell him.
Oh.
Yes, he could have done knight takes queen.
I'd like to redo my move. I missed that.
Back.
Okay.
This is why the audience doesn't get to talk during chess matches.
So,
like I said, I know how to play chess. I'm not saying I'm good at it.
Oh, I've never said I was good at it either. So, but I do enjoy the game. So, right. So now you have me in check again. Jeez, right. You're getting annoying. Let me see.
Yeah, which is, so that was the second step of moving the queen there, was if you didn't choose to take the queen, then I could push it forward and put you in check. That was the next plan.
Mm-hmm. Well, you cannot castle out of check.
Correct.
So that alleviates that potential. So, not that castling would help me because it would put me back in check, but just as a general reference. So I only, at this point, really have one option. I have no option except to move out of check.
All right. I need something else to do with the thing here. Let's see. What can I get moving? Also, the whole castling thing, I've never been good at that. I've never I understand how it functions. It is never a strategy I've been able to use effectively. I don't know why.
In my opinion, it's not something I'm terribly fond of either.
Right.
But if you open up one side to where it's very expanded and you're a little worried about things because you've been aggressive, popping your king over into a corner where it's still defended isn't a bad thing.
Right.
Trying to cover your bases there, it kind of sometimes makes sense. But also, if you're truly being threatened and you've got that moment where you can, then sometimes it works. But it's not something I use often.
Right.
But it is a rule of the game, and so therefore I wanted to bring it out and say that would be an option, except for, well, I was in check. So you had me dead to rights. So now what shall I do?
Yes. Fiken pointed out, never to rule out the option of flipping over the board and storming off in a huff. That's always an option when playing a game.
Let's not do that tonight because these are expensive computers.
Right, yeah. I can't quite flip this desk over. It's a little heavy. I could just kill the stream, though. See, that would be the table flip for me, is just kill the stream. Boot you out, kill the board, I'm done. I win. There you go. I have that option.
Let's do something radical. Oh, no. Yeah, let's do something radical. Now, let's do that.
What is the radical thing? Let's see.
Well, I'm going back and looking at my radicals here because I'm looking at the options that would leave you. Because if I did that, you just simply do that, blah, blah, blah. Let's just do this.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. Let's see. I can take that, but then it's threatened by the king. Take that pawn. Put it there. Doink. We'll do that.
Yeah, look at that.
Taking out the pawns. I feel like I just did a thing that was dumb, but okay.
Taking out pawns is a valid thing.
Right.
Very valid.
At some point, taking out the shield wall is an effective strategy. Just whittle it down.
It is. It most definitely is.
So going back to the crown list topic. So I haven't seen it at Meridia's because I haven't been around for many crown lists, but I have seen other crown lists where a game of chess was included as part of the crown list proceedings. Has that ever happened in Meridia's that you know of?
Not that I'm aware of. However, that was something Isabella and I often discussed, was making one of the qualifications. We accept letters of intent. Your first battle will be on the chessboard or whatever game board, and you must play a game. You don't have to win.
Right.
You must show competence at playing the game, and if you show competence, then the second phase of the battle would be you're going to onto the battlefield to fight sword and shield. We talked about that. We never actually got in the position where we could even try implementing it.
Right. Ooh. Oh, I see what you did there. Okay, let's see.
Thank you.
I like it. I like it. Look, trade. Oh. Queen. Bishop.
You got lots of options.
You really got lots of options, but none of them are terribly interesting. Like I know everybody's in. Well, all the audience is screaming, "No, not that one, Cal! Don't touch that one!" That's fine. Let's do a thing over here, guys. All right, so yeah. So if I take the bishop with the queen, then the queen takes, and I've got nothing to protect it with. Can't do anything with that bishop without losing it, which is not a terrible thing. We'll trade those. And do that. Need these rooks moving or something. That's what I need. I'm just gonna ignore the comments. They're like, BX4, do the thing. I'm like, no, I don't know what that is. Okay. Let's threaten there. Oh, so yeah, that's good. Okay. All right, we're doing this. If it's good, it's probably bad. We're doing it. All right. B takes E4. 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 Yeah, okay.
I actually have a huge, it's like 2.5 foot across chessboard that I keep here at my house.
Right.
That is it's a board I play against myself.
Right.
And I love that, having that available. And it's something I walk by, I keep a marker, and I walk by, oh, it's on the black side. I go over, stand on the black side, move a piece, go move a piece. 3 moves later, I drop it off on the white side and walk away. I come back and look at it again and try to make that, oh, I didn't see that before. It's actually a very good teaching tool for a lot of the chess maneuvering that I actually do. So
right. That makes sense. And I would. That's something I've always wanted to have a chessboard set up in my house, but I have cats. I have 7 cats specifically. They won't allow that.
No, they won't.
Yeah. I've tried. Like I always wanted to have one, but I come back and then the cats win. So All right, my turn. What did you do? Oh, okay, got it.
Queen forward. Right at a diagonal.
Yep. Nope. Queen threatens. Ugh. You got me in a pickle here, sir.
Well, you forced me to do something. So
I did. You did. I did.
I had to do something. I wasn't about to get my ass whooped.
Oh, let's see.
There's nothing more than I love. There's nothing I love more than winning, except for having someone beat me.
Right.
So, for me to play poorly and lose, that sucks. But you're doing a damn good job. You're putting me on my toes. I'm loving it.
Oh, thank you.
Nicely done.
I will take that I will take that compliment happily because I'm winging this.
You're doing a very nice job.
Can't do that. That's gonna So basically, right now my queen's stuck. I want to move it out, but anywhere I move it, it's going to be threatened by one of those two pieces. The rook I can't do anything with because again the queen will just take it, which not a terrible idea, but puts me in a problem. The bishop takes the pawn. The pawn takes the bishop. Apparently it's not letting me do any en passant because that's not giving me the option for that. But you know what? We're going to do that. So I wanted pawn to d3. I went pawn to d4. Whatever. Close enough.
Okay, so
g4. Pawn to g4. Sure, pawn to g4 would be a smart move. I'll take that. Yeah.
Yes, that was actually something I was afraid you might do.
Pawn to g4, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the two. It was either pawn to d4 or pawn to g4. That was the two options I was looking at. Looks like, and I've seen at least two. I think two of your squires in the comments, Geoffrey. So you have a cheering section over here going off.
Are they cheering for me or for you?
At this point, they're just cheering. I don't know. I think Jacques was talking crap earlier. Said he could beat you. I think is what he said. So,
Oh, Jacques? Who else? I'm actually just watching the screen, the game screen. I don't have the chat thing going. So. See, that doesn't work. Yeah. This is a pickle for me, too.
Right.
Because I see a way to maneuver.
So I need to ask you more questions. All right, crowd, help me out. Ask questions. Give me questions to ask Geoffrey to distract him. See? No, actually, I was going to say, okay, so your tavern is the Cock and Feather. Where did that come from? How did you name your gaming tavern? And if it's not appropriate for camera, we can talk about it later, I guess.
No. It is. The name for the Cock and Feather Tavern is, well, for those who don't know, I used to be a Marine. Mm-hmm. And in the Marine Corps, I was stationed in Bermuda. And in Bermuda, there was a tavern that had a medieval flavor to it. And this in Hamilton, and it's right on the water. So you go up into the tavern area, and it was one of the first places that I got to experience a medieval feel, culture thingy that was. It was just my first medieval experience, and so when I decided to open up a tavern, I looked back at my history, the exposure that I had, the things I had seen and done over the years, and I simply pulled from them. And I went back to my first medieval tavern, my first medieval pub, and that was the Cock and Feather. So I named mine after it. Now, unfortunately, they have remodeled it, and it is no longer very medieval looking. So I went and actually looked it up on the internet and checked it out to see what it looked like now. And yeah, it ain't very medieval.
Right. And for those watching, yes, I realize the dumb thing I just did and what I got myself into and where the rook is now. Yes, I see it. I saw what I did. You could all laugh later. It's fine. Tried to distract him, and I distracted myself. All right. And Kaka, to answer your question, only I'm seeing them, but I'm also choosing to ignore them. So just feel free to keep suggesting, but we will just continue to ignore them because only I can see them. Not that it's helping me at all. All right, so if I take the rook, I lose the queen. If I take the bishop, I lose the queen. If I take the bishop, I lose the queen. If I take
Your
the
queen
bishop,
is dead.
I lose the queen. Yeah. So it's matter what I'm taking with me at this point.
Exactly.
All right, we're taking the. I feel like you wanted me to take the rook. I feel like that was the plan. So I don't want to take the rook. I'm going to take the bishop.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, so for those in Meridius who haven't experienced Geoffrey's Tavern, it is definitely a place to be on a night in an event. It is ton of fun to watch, and and there's swag to earn and swag to give away, and like just amazing cool stuff.
and one of the things I like to do is try to involve as many of the senses as possible. So I try to have musicians playing to create the sound. If there's not musicians available, I usually provide boxed music, medieval style music. So there's always ambient music in the background. If they've got a traveler's fair, I try to have it served in conjunction with the tavern. So you've got the smell of the food and the taste of the food. They also do candlelight. And so everything's lit by candlelight so that it creates that ambiance, that feeling, that moment, and the way it would have looked in a period environment. So that, again, it's very much about creating that feeling. The candlelight, I try to bring in medieval tables and benches and the sound of the rolling of the dice and the people shouting, and it is a wondrous, wondrous thing.
Yeah, I know the last time before the pandemic was Panhandle Skirmishes. I think was the last time I was playing dice at an event. The Panhandle where we had a tornado almost bounced the tin off of us.
Yeah.
Which it was funny. So we're all hanging out playing dice, and storm starts kicking up, and even though it was this really terrible storm and all that going on, that was still probably one of the most medieval moments I've had in a while at an event. Just because it was all of us gathered together, dealing with that together, playing dice. At His Majesty at the time, or His Highness then, stood up and was gathering the knights to secure the tent, and just a whole thing. It was really neat, and just it felt medieval. And I know a lot of times at events we lose that. We lose the genuine medieval feeling because we're so worried about dealing with the paperwork or doing this or that. But that was one of those nights where really made that event. All right. Let me see what I can do here. That's going to go. That's going to do. Ugh.
One of the things that I've found over the years is a disaster brings forth the camaraderie. You have a bad storm or something like that happens, then you've got a reason to come together and to achieve. And people do, and it creates that special time, that special moment, and it really is something that brings us together. So, I don't mind. There's going to be a big storm, whatever. I'm good. I or my more waterproof boots and go out and play. I'm going to have a wonderful time with it no matter what.
Yep.
I believe that would be check.
That is, in fact, check. Let's see. And I can't take the queen with the king because the knight is threatening. I'll have to deal with that another way. And there's a question. So Katya asked where the tavern was. So the tavern we're talking about is just Geoffrey's camp, essentially. When he sets up camp, he sets up a camp. So he has it's essentially portable. So anywhere you see the House Excelsior or Southern Consortium camp set up, you can generally find Geoffrey and the Cock and Feather if it's not announced that it's going to be somewhere else for a particular event or something.
Now, every event where we have the Excelsior camp is not the Cock and Feather.
Right.
Well, if you show up with a bag of swag and say, hey, I want to play some games, we usually have a hall. We usually have a place for us to settle down and kick back, and we can play some games. And, well, it can turn into almost a Cock and Feather. So all it takes is you showing up saying, hey, can we play?
Right.
Come find me.
All right, so let's see. So castling, I can't castle. That doesn't do any good. I can't take the queen. I don't know that I have an option here, Geoffrey.
You have one option, which is D1. It's your only safe spot.
Oh, yep. Okay. Yeah, so it was still showing me all the other options, and I was like, those are not all options. You're lying to me, computer. All right. Oh, me, oh, me. Take the knight.
Yep, that saved your rook.
Yeah.
Because you're in check again.
Yep. Run! 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 Okay, I think I have an escape. This is a foregone conclusion. I think I've lost this game, but I feel like I did good.
You have done very well. You pressed me on many fronts. Pinned me twice.
Right.
That was nice. Seriously. Very well done. But this game isn't quite even over yet.
Yeah.
See, look at that. You're making me run around in circles.
Sure, making you do it. That's what I'm doing. I feel like I'm doing it.
Oh, by the way, you're in check.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just letting you know.
You're so kind. All right, so
I'm required by the rules to announce it.
that's true. No, you're right.
Just follow the rules.
Let's see. So I can't move there. Can't let me move. Well, okay. Let's see what rules it's enforcing. If I go there, you're gonna come down with the queen.
Threaten my knight?
I know, right?
Other than threaten you.
Right.
I mean,
So we actually had a question. Will the Cock and Feather have Orlog, which is a game from apparently Assassin's Creed Valhalla at some point? And I'm actually going to ask a slightly different question. What is your opinion on medieval-esque games? So games like Liar's Dice or Ship Captain Crew that are not strictly medieval games, but have the feel of them.
we play them, okay? As long as they have a medieval flavor, feel, and things like that, I'm not going to object to them.
Right.
I personally generally bring medieval games. I also happen to have some Irish dice too. And well, ship's captain crew, that's still just dice. And we put dice on the table and say, hey, let's play ship captain's crew. Let's do it. So I don't object to them as long as they have a medieval flavor to them. The tavern is about the environment. It's more about the experience than about it's got to be 100% accurate. So yeah, we'll play them.
That's my opinion as well. I'm very much as long as the game looks and feels medieval. I've even taken some modern games and sort of restylized them a bit so that they have a more medieval feel. I actually found a game at my local game store a couple weeks ago. It's called Shubo, and it looks very like when you open it up and look at it, it looks like a traditional Japanese, Asian sort of like board game. It was made like last year. It has no medieval ties at all, but I had to look it up because I was like, this is clearly a medieval game. Like it has that feel. So I agree with you. I think as long as it has that, it adds to that ambiance. There's no reason not to play it. Which that's a game I'm going to teach you at some point, Geoffrey. Shubo. I think you would get a kick out of it. It is so it's two different boards, or there are 4 boards you're playing on, and you make a move on the left side. You have to then mirror the move on the board on the right. So you're playing 2 different boards at the same time. It's it was a brain teaser, man. It made me hurt the first time I played it. I think you would enjoy it.
I move my king forward.
I see that. All right. Yeah, I've actually never, because I haven't played Assassin's Creed, I haven't heard of Orlog. I'll have to look that up, see what Orlog is. So the Shepherdess, if you have Orlog or like to play Orlog and want to come teach it on a What You Playing Wednesday, I would happily have you on as a guest for that because I've never played it. So I would like to learn new games. So, and that's actually an open invite. Anybody watching, if you have a game you play or a game we haven't done yet and you really love and want to teach, message me. I'm always looking for new guests, for new people to teach me games. So please do that. Either message me on the Cowboys Corner page or look me up on my personal Facebook. Either way.
My knight ran away.
I see that. He was scared.
Well, with reason.
Sure. All right. Let's see here. What can I do? What can I do? Check.
Well, only got options of moving.
Yep. So it's funny when we first talked about this. Like, yeah, if we finish early, we'll play another game. We're now at we just hit an hour. So.
Well, let's see here. Let's just go.
I feel like everybody's like holding their breath, and because like,
yeah,
can Cal pull it out?
You still have the potential.
Yeah. Check with the pawn. That's a thing you can do.
It is.
So I learned really weird chess rules apparently. And I don't know if my dad taught me weird chess rules or I just learned the wrong chess rules, but like you couldn't take a you couldn't threaten the pawn. The pawn couldn't threaten the king, and like there was the en passant rule, but I learned it the wrong way. Apparently, I learned a whole bunch of weird wrong chess rules when I was growing up.
Yeah.
So I had to unlearn all of them when I actually learned how to play chess for real. All right, let's see. Yeah, the problem is I'm going to be hard pressed to do anything really like useful. As I don't have enough to threaten you with. Is the problem?
It's going to be difficult. Yes.
Yeah. Like I could prolong it, but I was like I don't have enough to do a whole lot with.
That was actually a pretty good move.
Thank you.
Because my next move was to actually take that pawn, which would put you in check. So instead, let's see. Let's take that pawn.
Okay. Can't move to there, but I can move to there. Not that it'll do me any good.
Kind of messed that move up. I should have done something differently.
It's the king and the the queen. Yep. Can't go there. Can't go there. Can't go there. Can't go there. What's going on here? See what I can do. Yes, if I can, Shogi is on my list. Again, it's another one of those chess games that I have not dove into. If anybody knows how to play Shogi or any of the other chess variants, please look me up. I will be happy to learn them. So we talked about. So I mentioned earlier that Duke Sean requires. He was talking about his squires are required to learn to play games. Do you have anything like that you do since you are a games person? Do you require that of any of your squires?
Require? No.
Courage?
But they all do.
Right.
How could they be my squire and not fall into some type of a game?
True.
So they help me set the tavern up. They're going to enjoy the daggum thing, right?
That's true.
But no, it's not something I have put as a written, you must do. Right. But they follow me. They jump in. They enjoy the games. So, yeah, they're doing the games. So, and by the way, you're in check again.
Thank you. Let's see. I'm in 1, 2, 3 moves worth of check. Yep. All right, we're going to go there. Yes. Your little staggered pawn line is irritating me currently. Just FYI there. Those three pawns are irritating me. I cannot get past them, and I'm grumpy about it. Yeah, that's it. There it is.
And check.
And mate.
What was it? Was that mate?
That's mate.
Oh, I didn't even realize it. I was after your rook. I thought he was going to move.
There you go. All right. As usual, Cal is defeated once again, but that was a blast.
That was very much a blast. I enjoyed it, and seriously, you did very well.
Thank you. Thank you.
You actually did. You came forward. You swept to that one flank. You pushed in, got a nice breach, put me in check a couple of times. Took me off my game, took out some key pieces.
Right.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you for playing it. Thank you for being on for this episode. I've been dreading the chess episode. I knew I needed to do it, but I've been dreading it. You have definitely made it less less painful. So I appreciate you for that.
Do we have any further questions on the relevance of the game to knighthood or anything like that anyone would like to bring forward? Or
let's see. Yep, actually, just have one pop up. Let's see. So Fiken asks, not relevant to this, but is there a game that you want for the Cock and Feather that you don't have yet? He's offering to make you a game, I believe, because he does woodworking. So is there a game you don't have?
Actually, specifically, no, because I'm pretty handy myself. I have a bad tendency to, hey, that looks cool. Next thing you know, there's a board for it.
Right.
Here's the rules. Let's hand them out. I mean, as far as board games go, I've got pretty much most of the games. One of the things I've actually focused on, here's something for you to focus on. If you can find something, a medieval or medieval-ish game that is multiplayer, all right? I learned that I love keeping the one-on-one games around, chess and tafels and things like that, because it does give those intimate moments, so forth. But the most popular games in the tavern are the multiplayer games, Rolling the Bones, Game of the Goose, House, where it's just a bunch of people sitting around a table or a board and interacting. So instead of having one-on-one where you're very focused, I've got to beat you, it becomes we're all having fun together. So I've been shifting a lot of my games toward, I keep the old games where it is one-on-one. I'm not going to get rid of them, but I'm looking always for multiplayer games where we can get the 4 to 6, 8 players all just rampaging on one table, just having a blast. So.
Right. Yeah, I know it. Not that our lovely king would be drinking or be doing anything ridiculous at an event, but there was a very rousing game of the Goose played at Panhandle, where there was every time somebody won, they added a drinking rule to the game, and they just kept playing. But there was no winner. They were just It was that was fun to watch. I was playing guys on the other side, watching them play. But yeah, that was entertaining. So
we did a Tourney of the Foxes one evening, a few years back, and we kind of realized that after 4 a.m. and because oh my God, we got a fight in 2 hours, 3 hours.
That's always a concern. So, and speaking of Game of the Goose, I actually will go ahead and plug the next show. So the next What to Play on Wednesday, on the 27th, I'll be joined by Duke Raffin from Onstiora, who is also just started a YouTube channel for gaming, The Ravens Table. He's one of the guys from out in Onstiora, and we'll be playing Game of the Goose. So it's a super simple race game, easy to learn. There's literally no strategy to it. Roll the dice, move the pieces. Essentially, it's a sort of a version of Chutes and Ladders. So, but it's a ton of fun to play. I'm working on a couple other guests to join us for that one as well from Onstiora. So I have some other friends over there. We'll call it Onstiora Invasion.
Very nice.
Other than that, coming up this Sunday, I'll be joined by Baron Logan Pathwarden, host of Ask the Knights Live. We're talking about web shows. So talking about how the YouTube has affected the STA and where the future of that is coming. And then, of course, next Sunday, I'll be joined by Duke Sean for our regular series for What Makes a Night, and be joined by a couple of Sir Robert Dispenser and Sir Leah Dispenser for the 3 Legs of Peerage. So that'll be a fun show, talking about how how art, service, and fighting all play into the knighthood. So, anywho, Geoffrey, any closing comments from you before we close the show out?
Just like to thank everybody who showed up and watched and enjoyed the game. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did. Seriously, Cal, you made a wonderful opponent. I enjoyed it. You challenged me. I love that. Thank you very much.
The pleasure is mine, sir. So, guys, thank you all for watching. Appreciate you tuning in for the hour and 10 minutes that we've now been going. Make sure to like, subscribe, click all the buttons down below. If you're interested in supporting Cowbar's Corner and KK Productions, look us up on Patreon, patreon.com/Cowbar's Corner, and help get some, not only donate some money to the cause, but also get some cool prizes. We just sent out the first board game subscription this quarter, and we did a 9 Men's Morris board, custom lasered for all the subscribers. So look that up if you're interested in supporting what I'm doing here with the channel and all the channels that I support, or we support. So that's that. This has been Cal and Geoffrey in Cowbar's Corner. Night, everybody.